So the thing is, see, let me actually show you this because many of us are new here. So let me try to open up. Okay, you are done. Okay, okay. So I'm just starting the class. Okay. You can see the browser wala link. This browser. I hope everyone can see the browser, right? So let it load. Yeah. So we are at this point. Okay. Right now we are at this point. At this point, right? So we have covered day number 1. And in day number 1, we had an introduction to fundamentals of programming. In simple terms, we saw how to write basic Python program, right? We saw how to write a hello world program, right? We saw how to basically initialize a variable. We also saw in simple terms, what are operators in programming language. And we have also seen if we write a plus plus, is it possible in Python to write a plus plus if a equal to, let's say, 5, and I do a plus plus? Is it possible for to increment the value of a using a plus plus? If you are saying no, can you tell me the reason why you can't do a plus plus? Any reasons behind this? Yes, in Python, this plus plus is not supported, right? Plus plus operator, correct stack, the plus plus operator in Python is not supported, right? Instead of this, what we can do is we can say, see, a equal to a plus 1. In other programming languages, we have a plus plus to replicate the same effect. But in Python, we don't have this operator, right? There is no operator, no increment operator in Python. Instead, what we have is we can do something like this: a plus equal to 1. This line and this line are equivalent. Okay, in Python, first line and this second line is equivalent, whereas this line is not supported in Python. Is it making sense to everyone? Yes or no? Sometimes people will try to use this operator plus equal to in order to write a equal to a plus 1. Instead of that, they will simply write a plus equal to 1. Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no, guys? All right. So now today we are going to learn something called as data types, and we are also going to learn something called as conditional statements. Okay. So we are going to dive into this data type first, and then we are going to start with the conditional statement in Python programming language. Can anyone tell me what are the conditional statements? You might be knowing C, C++, Java, all sort of programming languages. What are the conditional statements? Yes, we will learn how to write if else statements, right? Along with that, I'm also planning to teach you something called as for loop and while loop. Okay, so these loops as well as these conditional statements, I'm planning to cover them today itself. Okay, so that tomorrow we can focus on functions and modules. Is that fine? Now, understand one thing, guys. Okay, so if you understand these 3 days, then only you will be able to understand whatever we do in this next week. Okay, so starting from 21st April, we are going to learn something called as data analysis, right? So in order to learn this data analysis, in order to learn these things, you need to understand these 3 classes. Okay, if you learn these 3 classes, then only you will understand this thing. And in order to understand this thing, machine learning, you need to understand all the things that we do in foundation of Python and all the things that we do in foundations of data analysis. Then only you will be able to understand machine learning wala part. Okay, if you are completely new, this is the thing that you need to understand. Okay, you have to be very comfortable with all the things that we cover in the class. I am watering down so many things. Okay, you can't even imagine how many things I'm trying to water down here. And that is not a good way to actually teach, but these are the foundational course. These are the foundational course just to get you started with these technologies. Okay, once you understand this, then maybe you can opt for taking some advanced course also, maybe later on if you want from anywhere else or from us also. Okay, so this is something you can do. Now let me try to actually show you. Let me try to start the session. Okay, again, let me try to put all the links in the chat box. Okay, so I'll try to put all the links in the chat box so that in between the session nobody is confused. So I'll try to put all the links. Give me a second. So can you see these links? So I just shared all these links. The first link that you have in the chat, it is for certifications. Stark, so by tomorrow you are going to get all the recordings, okay? I promise this. By tomorrow you will get all the recordings. Okay, I just need to finalize a couple of things, and then I just need to upload those recordings on YouTube or somewhere, and then you will get that. Okay, I did so many multiple different, I set it up so many multiple different things today. So tomorrow you are going to get all the recordings. Okay, because parallelly, yes, I know YouTube is the best option. So I'm also planning to basically go with the YouTube account for Technology for All, and there we'll put all these things. Okay. All right. So I would again recommend all of you to basically follow this page. Okay. The reason is we are going to put all the updates and everything in upcoming days also. There are going to be internship opportunities also, maybe in some time. I can't guarantee that, but yes, I'm also planning for some internship opportunities. So all those things will be pushed on this LinkedIn page, right? All the updates, everything will be pushed on this LinkedIn page. So I would suggest everyone to basically follow this LinkedIn page, okay? And you would be good to go, right? Anything that we update on this LinkedIn page, you will get the notification, right? Now, without any further ado, let's try to now start the class. So it's already, what is the time? Yeah, 15 minutes ho chuke hain. Let's try to start the class now. All right, I'm just adjusting the screen size. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we have this thing, right? So we were on this notebook. Let me try to connect with this notebook. Okay. Let me just try to click on this connect button so that it will allocate some resources to me. In simple terms, it will allocate RAM and disk space to me so that I can run any Python program, anything on this thing. Which link, Stark? Which link? Yes, certification link I've shared with you, right? So I'll again do that. Okay, so the first link that you have is the certification link. Just try to fill that link so that you get the certification. Okay, second link is for the code, whatever code I show you in the class. Do you remember I showed you this GitHub repository, right? So everything is present here. Okay, so I'm sharing the link to that repository also. The third link is my personal LinkedIn profile. Okay, if you want to connect with me, ask me something, then you can definitely connect with me. The fourth link is to follow Technology for All ka page. Okay, just try to do that also if you are interested in that. Okay, now let's try to start with the new topic, the topic for today. Okay, so do you remember yesterday we saw something called as, let me try to bring up the board. Let me try to write something on the board and then we'll come to the coding wala part. All right. So yesterday we saw how to create a variable in Python programming language. Can anyone, how many of you can name at least 5 different data types in Python? Yesterday we covered some data types, right? Can anyone name any 5 data types in Python? How many of you can name 5 data types? Let's see. Data types. In Python, I'm talking about Python, not any other programming language. No. So this is the very good thing. So people are saying character, people are saying short, people are saying long, people are saying string, right? So, okay, bold, no. So, okay, Boolean, okay. So people are saying Boolean, right? Let me try to correct all of you, okay? So let me try to correct all of you. So the first data type that we started with was numerical data type, right? Numerical data type. Yes, I think I got one good answer. Yes, so numerical data type in Python, we have integer as a numerical data type. We have float as a numerical data type. And we have something called as complex as the numerical data type. There is no double. There is no double. Let me try to put that also here. There is no double. There is nothing like this in Python. Okay, whatever I've written in these curly brackets, there is nothing like this. Okay, for string you have str. Okay, string data type is represented as str with lowercase s. Okay, there is str data type for strings. For strings, you have something like this. There is no char data type. There is no char data type. There is no short and there is no long. Okay, Python is fairly easy and easy to understand and intuitive compared to any other programming language. Okay, so there are nothing like character, short, long data types. If you want to look into Boolean, the data type for Boolean is BOOL, bool. Okay, and similarly there is no double, right? String we have already discussed, right? So these are the 5 data types, right? We have covered them yesterday, right? We know how to create a string. Can anyone tell me how to create a string, Kanav? Let's say I want to create a string, Kanav. How do I assign a variable to this string? Anyone? How do I assign a variable to this string, Kanav? In order to assign a variable to this 5, I simply say a equal to 5, right? Now let's say I want to store Kanav inside a variable called as b. How do I do that? या फिर a? Yes, correct. So I simply say a equal to single inverted quotes के अंदर Kanav और double inverted quotes के अंदर Kanav और triple inverted quotes के अंदर भी Kanav. Okay, so you can do something like this. Now what is going to happen is this a is going to be yes, Venkatesh, that is also correct, but it is a trickier thing. Venkatesh has written some answer and it is a very interesting thing. I'll show you in today's lecture what is these these brackets that these parentheses, these brackets that Venkatesh has written in front of us. We'll also talk about them in today's class. Okay, now a is going to be a string data type, str data type. Okay, we have to understand this. Whereas here, in this case, what is the data type of a? Anyone? What is the data type of a? No. In this scenario, what is the data type? Yes, correct, Tony. So it is going to be integer, right? It is going to be int in Python. Okay, let's try to do a couple of more things. So let's try to come up to the coding wala thing. Yes. So here, if I say, let me try to create 2 variables. Okay, first variable is a equal to 5. Another variable is b equal to Kanav. Okay, let's say these are the 2 variables I'm creating. Okay, I can simply print them, right? It is very easy to print a variable. I simply say print a and print b. It is going to print out a and b value in front of me, right? 5 and Kanav. Is it clear to everyone? I hope this is clear, right? Now, how many of you remember, how many of you know that in any other programming language like C, C++, Java, right, C#, any programming language that you pick, in order to create an integer, how do you create an integer? Can anyone write the line that you need to write in these programming languages to create an integer? Yes. You simply say int variable name equal to 5, right? Int variable name, right? You need to write this. You need to explicitly mention that a is going to be an integer type. And then you need to say equal to 5 to assign this value 5 inside this container called as a. A is nothing but a container that is going to contain 5, right? We have already seen this yesterday, right? So this is something that you do in any other programming language. Now, do you see that we are never mentioning that a is of integer type? Correct? Yes or no? So Python is smart enough, right? Python is smart enough to understand that a is going to be an integer type, right? Python is smart enough that b is going to be a string type. Whereas other programming languages, you have to explicitly mention what is the type of these variables, right? Isn't it amazing, right? So you don't need to worry about these variables, right? So variables are going to get assigned to the respective data types according to whatever you are putting on the right hand side. Is it making sense to everyone? Yes or no? I hope this is clear to everyone, right? Great. All right. So now the next thing that I want to talk about is this. Whenever we create a container, right? Whenever we create a place where I can store something, for example, I'm creating a variable. Okay, I'm creating a variable. All right, Devi, let me try to explain this again. So what I am saying here is, Devi, can I know any other programming language that you know about? Is there any other programming language that you know? Any, is there anything that you know? Except for Python, whatever we have covered. Devi? Okay, all right. So Devi, what happens is, in other programming languages like Java, C, so there are many programming languages, right? C, C++, C Sharp, and so on, right? In all these programming languages, if you want to create a container that can store something, for example, we are creating this thing in Python, right? We are creating a variable, which is nothing but going to store this 5 inside it, right? In other programming languages, you have to write the line like this. In program, you have to write int a equal to 5. You have to explicitly mention that this a is going to be of integer type, and it is going to store this 5 inside it. You have to write this kind of line in other programming languages with a semicolon at the end. Now, do you see that this is a little complex to write compared to this in Python? Is it clear now, Devi? So this is a complex thing, right? Whereas in Python, it is very easy to write. You don't need to remember that that this is something that you need to write. You don't need to write this, right? You just write a equal to 5. It is automatically going to assign integer data type to a. Python is smart enough to understand that. Okay, that is the context here. So similarly, see, if we are talking about all these things, let me try to talk about one more thing. There is something called as dynamically typed programming languages. So Python is called as dynamically typed programming languages, and this is one of the very interesting feature of Python. Whereas other programming languages like C, C++, Java, C Sharp, these programming languages are statically typed. Statically typed programming language. Okay, the reason behind C, C++, Java is statically typed programming languages. We have to write int a equal to 5 or str string b equal to kanab. We have to write these kind of things in other programming languages. We have to explicitly mention what is the data type, and then we have to store something in that. Whereas in Python, we don't need to explicitly mention what is the type of the variable. It automatically understands it. It sees that there is no decimal here, so it should be an integer, not a float, right? It sees that you are trying to put something in inverted quotes, then it should be a string. It is smart enough to understand all these things. That's why Python is called as dynamically typed programming languages, right? Whereas C, C++, Java, all these are called as statically typed programming languages. Is this clear to everyone? This is one of the very frequent interview asked questions. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Now, if this is clear, let me try to talk about one more thing, one more very important thing. So we were talking about these containers, right? For example, A is a container, A is a place where you are storing 5. Similarly, B is again a container, right? B is again a container, which is a little bigger container that contains kanav, right? K-A-N-A-V. Now, the best part about this container is it is a string container, right? Its type is string. Now, string is having a feature, right? There is a feature in string. The feature is you can choose to access any element out of this entire string. You can choose any index. You can choose to basically access only this A. If you want to print what is the first element or the second character in kanav, right? If you want to print out what is the second character in this string kanav, right? This is a character, right? This is again a character, one character, second character, third character, fourth character, and the fifth character. There are total 5 characters in kanav string, right? In this entire word, there are 5 characters. Now, let's say you want to access only this character. What do you need to do? You simply say B, right? You simply say B, and inside these square brackets, you simply enter the index of this A. Now, where is this A present? You start with 0. You start with 0. You say 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So where is A present? A is present at first index, right? A is present at first index, and you simply say something like this. It is going to print out. This is going to print out A for you. Let's try to see that. Okay, let's try it out. Let's try it out. So we'll say B1, right? B square bracket 1. Right, we are trying to print B square bracket 1. We are simply saying just try to access the first element in this string B, right? This is at the 0th index, K is at the 0th index, A is at the first index, right? If I try to run the program, let's see the output. Do you see? We are getting A as the output, right? Can anyone tell me if I write 4 inside it, what is going to happen? Yes, Tony. So in C programming language, array is a different thing. Let me tell you that array is a different thing. So we'll come to that. Okay, we'll come to that. What is equivalent to array in Python? Okay. All right. So yes, almost everyone is correct. So if I try to run this program again, let's see what is going to happen at this point. See, we are getting V, right? So always remember that in programming languages, whenever you try to access sequence, right? String is nothing but a sequence of characters, right? If you are trying to access any sequence, for example, here the sequence was KANAV. The index of this sequence is going to start from 0. Right? If you want to access some particular element from this entire sequence, you have to count this entire sequence starting from 0. You have to say K is at 0th index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, and the 4th index. Is it making sense to everyone? Is it making sense to everyone? Yes or no? In the meanwhile, let me try to see if everyone has filled the form or not. Otherwise, there will be an issue sending you the all these things. What do we say? Certificates, वगैरह. Okay. So let me. I will check it later. Okay. Just remind me. Okay. Just remind me later on. So based on that, I'll try to basically see how many people attended the session, and based on that, we'll send the certificates. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing that we need to understand here. Okay. So let me try to create something. So you guys have to tell me what is this. Okay. So what do you understand from the code that I'm writing right now? Okay. Yes. If I write something like this, what is the meaning of this thing? So Shubham, you can fill it up. Maybe after some time, I'll give you some time to fill it up. Okay. I will explicitly mention this the certification wala link within 15-20 minutes, and then I will give you 5 minutes to fill that form. Okay. Yeah. Let's try to focus on learning right now. Okay. Yes. Correct. Personal. So it is a string, right? So we are creating. So can I say, guys, listen to this very carefully. Okay. So can I say that this is nothing but an assignment operator? Yes, I will give some time, Sarita. I will give some time to fill the form. Okay. Let's try to learn first. Otherwise we'll skip some concepts. Okay. Yeah. So can I say it is an assignment operator? Yes, right. It is an assignment operator. What is the role of assignment operator? Whatever is there on the right hand side, it will simply try to put it on the left hand side. That's it, right? Whatever is there on the right hand side, it will simply put it inside the left hand side. So left hand side, we have a variable called as C. Now, I hope everyone understands that C is nothing but a container, right? And this container is a very big container, which is going to contain technology, space, for, space, all, right? So let me try to make it a little short. Yeah. Now, can anyone tell me if I want to access this Y, what should I write? I want to print only Y. Anyone who can help me with this? What should I say? What should I write? Give me the entire line. If I want to print out the Y, what should I write here? People who don't know programming at all, just try to answer it, okay? No, I want the entire line. Devi, I want the entire line, not just the index. I want the entire line. Yes, correct, Mohammed. Swapnil, the entire line, okay? So the variable name is C. Yes, variable name is C. Index, I have to actually check what is the index. I'm not sure. Let's try to write it. C is the variable name. If I try to say print C, can anyone tell me what is the output of this line? If I don't put anything else, what is the output of this line? What is the output? Yes, correct. Humayu. Yes, technology for all, right? So if I try to see, let me try to run the code and show you the output. Let's try to run the code. Oh, sorry. So let's try to run the code. Yeah, technology for all, the entire thing, right? This is the entire string we are getting, right? We are getting the entire string, right? Including these spaces, right? Including these spaces in between, we are getting the entire string. Now, if I want to access Y, so most of the people are saying, just try to put C9, right? So let's try to run this code and see the output. Yes, everyone was correct. Yes, right? So this is how you access any element inside this container called as a string container or a string data type. Okay, think of it as a container that you are using to store something. That's it. Is it making sense to everyone? All right, great, great. Now I have a question, okay? I have a question. Now, what happens is, normally, let's say if I want to store 5, or maybe let's say I want to store 50 inside a variable. Is it a correct way to store 50 inside a variable? Yes, Utkarsha, I am going to come to that. Okay, I am going to come to this only. Okay. Yes, right. So let me try to run the program and show you the output. And then we are also going to, let me try to also print the type of this A. The type of this A. Let's try to run the code and see the type of this A. See, it is an integer, right? It is an integer. Similarly, if I try to print here the type of this C, let's see the type. I hope everyone can guess the type of C, right? So it is a str string. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? See, let me ask you a MCQ question, okay? So there is a very important, one of the very interesting MCQ question that everyone, 90% of the people are going to fail in that MCQ question. Now, given that you have just seen this concept, you will be able to answer this, but sometimes people are going to get confused and they are going to basically screw up that MCQ question. The question will be something like this. A equal to X, Y, Z, okay? Print type of A. Question will be, what is the output of above program? Okay, this is the question. Now there will be options. Options will be something like this. You will have class str, class string, right? And then you will also have C, class capital STR or capital string, and D option will be none of the above. Right now it is confusing, right? Let's say, see, we just saw this concept, right? We just saw this concept, then we know that this is the A is the correct option, right? A is the correct option just because, see, we just saw this concept, it is written in front of us, then only we know. What if, let's say after 50 days, after 2 to 3 months, I ask you the same question and you forgot this question, right? At that time, it is going to be very complex and very difficult to answer this question. Is it making sense to everyone? Yes or no? Right? Because we are human beings, right? We'll forget things, right? So these are the basic things that you must keep in mind whenever you are going for a Python exam or something like that. Okay. Now, the next thing that we need to understand, okay, the next thing that we need to understand is whatever we are doing here, okay, whatever we are doing here in this program, we are simply trying to create a container that contains 50, right? And then we are trying to print that. We are calling this container as A. We are trying to print that. And then we are trying to also look into the type of it. Now, Utkarsha, she asked a very interesting question, right? The question that was asked was, what if you want to put multiple different values in a single variable? What if I also want to store 40 along with 50? Is it actually possible or not? Right? So that is the question, right? Yes or no, guys? Are you following this thing? So in order to basically do something like that, there are other data types in Python, right? There are, yes, it is possible, right? So there are other data types. Let me name those data types, right? One of those data types is called as list. One of those data types is called as tuple. One of those data types is called as set. One of those data type is called as dictionary. Is it clear to everyone? These are the 4 different data types readily available for everyone to use directly. Is it clear to everyone? So these are the 4 data types. Today, I will show you how to use these 4 data types. Is that fine? So let's see how to use these 4 data types. If you know how to use them, it is going to be really very amazing. It is going to be very interesting for you to write the programs and all those things. Right? So I'll show you very interesting tricks today. Okay. Now, let's say I have to create multiple, I have to put multiple different variables, multiple different values. Let's say till now, what we were trying to do inside the container, we were trying to put only one value. What if I want to put 5 and 6 together inside a container? right? I want to create a container called as A, and I want to put 5 and 6, both of them inside this container. What to do then? In order to do that, in order to basically do something like this, you need to say something like this. A equal to, you need to put square brackets, and you need to put 5 comma 6 like this. Okay, you need to put these square brackets. You have to understand that. Yes, correct, personal. Can you please rename yourself? Digambar, it is okay. It is perfectly fine. I'll share the recording as well with you, okay? I have shared a couple of links in the chat box. If you have not received the chat, those links, just hold on for some minutes. I'll again share those links so that you can fill that link and get the recording lectures, okay? So I will change the name personal Shyam, right? So that it is easy for me to call you something, right? All right. So I think you are renamed now. Yes. All right. So this is something that we are doing. Now, can anyone tell me if I try to print this A, what should be the answer? Yes, Sindhu, what I'll do is I'll try to share the link, share the entire recording for yesterday and today, both the things. Okay, both of them. Let me try to run the program and show you the output. Okay, let's run it. See, we are able to store inside A, we are able to store both the values, right? We've tried to print A and print, and this A, single A is containing both the values, right? That is really interesting, right? Now, the best part is, what if I try to print the type of A? Can anyone think of the type of A? Type of A. It looks integer, right? All these things are integer. But remember that it is a collection of integer, right? It is not a single integer. It is a collection of integer, right? And this thing is called as, in Python, if you try to put multiple different values inside a square bracket, okay, inside a square, these brackets are very important. Okay, it looks like an array. Yes, correct, Pranav. Stark was also asking the same thing, right? This is how you create Python ke andar arrays. Okay, it is as simple as that. In Python, in order to create the array, this is what you do. Let me try to run the program. Let me show you the type, right? It is called as a list. It works similar to array, right? In other programming languages, people who are coming for other programming languages, they know about array, right? So array is again a sequence of elements, right? See, it is again a sequence of element. List is also a sequence of element which behave very similar to array. The only difference between list and an array is, array is going to be of homogeneous data type. It is a homogeneous data type. Whereas list, it can be heterogeneous. It can be heterogeneous, right? What do I mean by heterogeneous? It means that I can also put Kanav here. Now, do you see I'm putting multiple different data types here? The first value is an integer. Second value is a integer again, and the third value is a. Can anyone tell me what is the data type of third? It is string, right? str. Yes, correct. Right. So if I try to do this, let's see what is the output. Okay. Let's see what is the output. Let me try to run the program. See, it is able to store Kanav also. Right. We are able to store Kanav also along with all the other values. Now, let me try to show you one very interesting thing again here. Okay. Now, do you remember that I'm saying that this list is a sequence data type? Sequence. It is a sequence of values, right? Sequence of different values. Yes or no? Do you remember there was another sequence data type that we have learned in this class? Today itself, we have learned another sequence data type. Can you name that sequence data type? Can anyone name that sequence data type that we have learned in this class? No, we have learned something. There is something called as string. Yes. String, right? String is also a sequence of characters, right? String is a sequence of character. We have already learned that. Now today we are learning this thing. It is a sequence of multiple different data types, right? So the question is, what if I want to only print Kanav? Out of all these values, what if I only want to print Kanav? Is there any way to only print Kanav instead of printing all the values? What if I want to only print Kanav? Now I want the answer from you guys. Can anyone answer this question? Okay. There is a problem with that, Prithviraj. So the brackets ka problem is going to be there. All right. So first of all, tell me one thing. What is the variable that is containing all these things? The variable is called as A, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Variable is called as a, yes, correct, Stark. So variable is called as a, right? And in a variable, right, the variable which is a, right, let me try to represent it in diagram, okay, so that you understand it. So we are saying it is a sequence. 5 is there, 6 is there, and then Kanav is there. Kanav, right? So I want to print Kanav. I want to print Kanav. So if there is a sequence, so how should I number it? So where should I start? Should I start with 0 or 1? Poco X2 and Shrikant. Chetra, where should I start the numbering? How should I start the numbering? Should I start it with 0 or 1? I should start it with 0, right? So 0, 1, and 2. So what should be the answer? What should be the answer? How should I basically print out Kanav? If I want to print out Kanav, how should I do this? I should say A of 2, right? A of 2 inside these square brackets, right? In order to access any element, right, I need to put these square brackets, right? And then I want to print it out. So in order to print out, I will simply say print A. So I'll put 2 here. Okay, I'll put 2 here and I'll try to run the program. Let's see the output. See, we got Kanav as the output, right? Now let's say I put 0 here. Can anyone tell me what is the answer if I put 0 here? If I put 0 here, yes, you guys are intelligent. Yeah. So the answer is going to be 5 in this case, right? The answer is going to be 5. Correct. Right. So this is what you need to understand, right? So in order to store the collection of different values, you can use something called as a list, right? You can use something called as a list in order to store multiple different values. Let me try to remove this entire thing. And here, let me try to say b equal to, let me create another variable. Okay. Let's create another variable. Let me try to maybe create a new cell and then we'll do that. New cell. And inside this cell, we'll try to say b equal to 1, 2, 3. And then I want to print b. And I also want to print, so I'll do that later. So if I try to do this, is there any difference from the previous one? Can anyone note any difference? Is there any difference? If there is any difference, can you tell that? Yes, brackets, right? There is a difference with the brackets. Yes, there is a difference with the brackets. Here I was using square brackets, whereas in this case I'm using something called as these parentheses, these simple round brackets. Yes, correct, right? So let's try to print it. Let's see if there is any error or not, right? Yes, correct, Shrikant. So let me try to run it, okay? Now, do you see the round brackets? We are getting the output similarly, right? The output is very similar to whatever we got right now. The class will end at 6:30, Shuryans. The class will end at 6:30, okay? Before IPL match, okay? So this is what you have. Okay, this is what you have as the output. Now the biggest thing here is, what if I want to print out the type of this B? If I try to print out the type of this B, yes, sure, Suryansh, you can join in back. Okay, but do join in. Okay, so I'll be sharing a link by the end of this session, and you can also fill up that link so that you can get the certificate and all the things. Okay. So if I try to print the type of B, can anyone tell me the output? Yes, it is going to be, see, all the values are integer, right? All the values are integer, and it is not a single integer. Understand that, guys. It is not a single integer. It is a collection of multiple different integers. And since the brackets that we are using here are these round brackets, the type of this thing is going to be a tuple. Okay, you are going to have a tuple type. Now, is there any difference between list and a tuple? Sarita, all right, Sarita, listen up, Sarita, please try to do one thing. Sarita, try to do one thing, okay? So do one thing. I'll just tell you quickly how to do that, okay? So I'll give you a hint, okay? Just try to go through it. If you are not able to understand it, I'll try to talk about it maybe tomorrow, okay? So do one thing. You just go to, where is that? I think I added it somewhere here. Give me a second, okay? Yeah, if you go to case studies, okay, Sarita, if you go to case studies, you will find regex and web scraping, okay? So you are going to get regex and web scraping. So if you go to this thing, just go to regular expression wala folder, and here you will get the entire code for the question that you are asking. Okay, just try to go through this notebook and you'll get the code. Is that fine, Sarita? Cool, cool. So I'll come back. I will come back because I gave that answer right now just because I know that I'll forget it later. Okay, so just go through that code. If you are not able to understand tomorrow, I'm going to take that doubt. Okay. All right. So guys, see, the question here is there actually any difference between list and a tuple? Because see, the only difference that we can see here, right? The only difference that we can see here is only in this brackets, right? Right? Do you see the different, the brackets that you have here are different? Yes, Shyam, correct. Right? The thing is, let's try to also enter maybe something else here. Maybe let's try to put Kanav here. Let's see if it can hold multiple different data types, right? Let's see if it can hold multiple different data types. Let's try to run it. Let's try to run it. Yes, it can hold multiple different data types. It is a tuple still. It is a tuple, right? Let's try to see something that tuple that is actually a different thing in tuple. Okay. The main problem with tuple is, or the main you can say the advantage of tuple is, let's say I want to access maybe let's say Kanav, or maybe let's say I want to access 2. Can anyone tell me how do I access 2? No, you can slice it, Shyam. I'm not going to talk about slicing, but yes, you can slice tuple. Okay. So anyone who can tell me how do I access 2? How do I access this 2? If I want to print it out, how do I do that? How do I do that? If I want to print out this 2, how do I do that? Anyone? In this tuple, if I want to print out this 2, how do I do that? Think about it again. Yes, Hansraj, Devi, correct. Right? So see, it is a tuple, right? It is a sequence of some values, and those values are 1, 2, and Kanav, right? These are the values, right? And 1 is going to be present at 0th index. It is going to be present at first index. It is going to be present at second index, right? So in order to access this 2, we have to put B1, right? Let's try to run it. Let's see the output. Yes, it is a 2, right? It is a 2 that we are getting. Now let's say I want to replace this 2. I want to replace this 2 with maybe let's say 3. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply say B1 pay, just try to put 3, just try to overwrite B1 wala place, right? Just try to overwrite this place with a 3. Are you all getting this? I'm just using an assignment operator, right? I'm using an assignment operator to perform this action. I'm saying that just try to put on this, at this first index, just try to put 3 instead of this 2, right? Let's try to run the code and see the output, okay? Let's try to run the code and see the output. If I try to run it, see, there is an error. There is an error, right? So it is saying that tuple object does not support item assignment. You cannot modify a tuple if you have already created a tuple. But what about list, right? That is a question, right? What about list? What if I want to change this 5? Can anyone write a code? Let's say I want to make it 50. How should I do that? Can anyone write the line? How should I make this 5 as 50? What should I write? Yes, Swapnil, that was fast. Correct. A of 0, I should write A of 0 because 0th index is holding 50, right? Right, Mohammed? 0th index is holding 5, right? Yes, 0th index is holding 5, so I need to make it 50, right? And then let me also try to print out. A, right? In order to see what are all the values in A, right? So if I try to run the code, if I try to run this code now, let's see what is going to happen. In the first line, we are going to put inside A, we are going to put 5, 6, and Kanav, right? This is something that is going to happen just because of this line of code. In the second line, I'm trying to print out all these values, right? Perfectly fine. I have 5, 6, and Kanav. That is okay. Then I'm trying to print out the type of A, which is nothing but a list. That is also okay, right? The final thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to basically put 0, right? I'm just trying to replace the 0th index, which is nothing but this index, with the 50, right? Now, the best part is in list, you can do these kind of assignments. If you see the list again, it is getting updated, right? Is it clear to everyone? So using list, what you can do is you can update the values inside. So let's say you want to store many different values inside a container, right? Inside this container, you want to store many different values. The way is you can use either list or you can use a tuple, Yes, Srikanth. Yes. So if you want to read about it more, guys, if you want to read about lists and tuple more, so I would suggest you to go back to this GitHub link. Okay, if you go down, the second folder is called as data structures. Just open this folder and you will get this data types.ipynb. Okay, just open this thing and you will get everything that is there to learn about lists and tuple. Okay. You can say something like that, Tony. Yes, that can be, yes, you can say that. All right, so yeah, this is something that you have, okay? So this is the entire thing that you have about lists and tuple. Just try to go through this entire thing, okay? So let me try to ask you one very interesting question here, okay? Let's say I have two lists. Let's say I have two lists. One list is containing 1, 2, 3. Second list is containing 5, 6, 7. Let's say I want to create a list, another list. Let's say I want to write a program to create another list. See, that should, and this should contain all the elements that are there in A and B. Are you getting the question? So I have, let's say, two different lists. I want to basically put all the values that are there in A and B inside this list, inside this new thing called as C. Yes. So do you know that in Python you can write A plus B directly? Normally what happens is this plus operator is used for addition, right? In Python, it is overloaded, right? It is overloaded and it can also perform concatenation of two different lists, right? Whereas if you talk about C, C++ or Java, you have to write this much code just to write this entire thing, just to perform this entire thing. Now, how many of you think Python is amazing? Right? Just so you don't need to write this much code, right? If you talk about C, C++, Java, C#, any programming language, you have to write this much code just to perform this thing. Okay, whereas in Python, you can do it in just a single line. Is it making sense to everyone? I need a yes or no. Great. Now this is a meme time, right? So this is a meme time. Let me show you the meme, right? So this is the code. In Python, you do something like this in order to append it, and this is a meme, right? I hope you understand this meme. I really find it this meme very funny. All right. So now you can also look into tuples. If you want to learn about tuples, just go through this entire thing. Okay, I've written a very detailed notebook. I've written all the things here. Okay, you can have a look at it, how to basically use tuples. So this is something I hope you understand. So Venkatesh, I won't be able to cover this in this foundational course. It is a little advanced topic. Okay, so I won't be able to complete that immutable and mutable wala concept because it requires 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes to complete it. Okay, it is a very important topic. I understand that, but immutable and mutability, I won't be able to complete that. Okay, so I have mentioned all these things here. Okay, so if you want to understand which data type is immutable and which is not, you can basically look at this thing. Okay, I've mentioned that all the numeric data type, string, tuples, right? They are all immutable. Okay, so I won't be able to explain it. I hope you understand the thing. Okay, Devi, I've already shared the link to this entire thing. Okay, so whatever so all the code, right? The link to all the code is already shared with you. Okay, so see, Venkatesh, in 2-3 words, if I want to say what is immutable and mutable, so if you have a variable and if you can't change the content of that variable, right? So variable is nothing but a container, right? So if you can't change the content of this variable, you would say that this variable is going to be an immutable variable. If you can't change the content of this variable, you are going to say that it is going to be an immutable variable. Let me actually show you one very interesting trick here, okay? If you are really interested in it. So let me try to show you one very interesting trick. So let's say if I say A equal to 10, if I say A equal to 10, and if I try to print, so everyone knows that in computer, there is something called as a hard drive or a RAM. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that there is a random access memory inside the computer. Whatever we do, it is going to come to the RAM and then CPU can access it. If CPU wants to access some process, it needs to be loaded inside the RAM, right? Now, whenever we write a equal to 10. Now, can you say that a equal to 10, this container is going to take some space in our computer's memory? Are you understanding this? In our computer memory, it is going to take some space, right? And so our computer memory, the space in our computer is all having some address, okay? The computer memory that we have, each place in our computer memory is having some address, some unique address, okay? Some unique address is going to be allocated to each variable that you create. If you create a equal to 10, this entire variable is going to get some unique address. Okay, there is going to be address where this is going to be placed. This container is going to be placed in some place in our memory, right? Yes, correct, Sam. So what we can do is, in order to check that address, in order to check where inside my memory this A is present, I can simply say ID of A, right? I can simply say ID of A, right? So what is going to happen if I try to run the program now? Now, do you see this is the ID? This is not a phone number, okay? Or it is not an Aadhaar card number. It is the ID where this A is present inside my computer's memory or inside the Google cloud memory, right? Now, what changes, Shyam? May I know what changes? All right, so let me try to continue. Till then, I will ask Shyam to maybe write something. Yeah. Okay, Sindhu. So we are just talking about the computer memory. Okay, we are talking about computer memory, and we are saying that whenever you create a variable, maybe let's say A equal to 10, this variable is going to allocate some, it is going to have some space, right? It is going to take some space from computer's memory, right? And if it is taking some space from computer's memory, that memory is going to have some unique address, and you can see that this is the unique address. Is it clear now? Now let's say if I say, guys, see this. I'm going to show you a magic trick here, okay? So if I say B equal to 11, and if I try to print the address of B, now can you tell me what is the address of B? Is it going to be the same address as A, or is it going to have some different address? No, Shriram, that won't be possible. Yes, it should be different, right? It should be a different address. Yes, it should be a different address, right? That is something that comes to us intuitively, right? So let me try to run the program. Let's see if it is actually different or not. Okay, let's try to run the program. Now, is it a different, yes or no? Do you see it is 128 and it is 096? A is at 096, whereas B is at 128. Okay, I would leave you with a puzzle. Okay, so somebody I forgot who asked this question about this mutability and immutability, but I will leave you with a puzzle. Okay, so I won't be able to complete the entire concept, but I'll leave you with a puzzle. Just try to, okay, Venkatesh. Okay, just try to go through this entire concept. It is one of the very interesting concepts in Python. Okay, now I will create another variable. Just to see if you understood this thing, let me try to create another variable, and then let me try to print the ID of C. Now, what is going to happen? Anyone? This thing is going to be different, right? We are creating another container. And that container is going to have some ID. That container is going to have some space, right? Okay, some people already know everything, right? So let's try to run the code. Okay, let's try to run the code. Now, do you observe something interesting here? Do you observe something really interesting here? A and C are having the same address, right? A and C are having the same address. So Python has this very interesting concept called as immutability and mutability, because of which if you try to store the same content, if you try to create a container which is going to contain the same content, that container is going to basically, see, what you are doing is you created, see, this line basically means that you create A equal to 10. This is something that is happening. This is something that is happening, yes or no? Yes, I'll do that, Durga. I'll try to show you that also. Is this happening just because of line number 1? Yes or no? Yes, yes, right? Now, because of line number 2, what is happening? In computer's memory, a container is getting formed, and inside that container, 11 is present. And B is going to point to that container, right? This is something that is happening. Now, as soon as you write something like this, what is happening? Instead of creating a new container, Python is smart enough to understand that C should point to this 10, because both the A and C, both the things are having the same type and same content, right? So do you understand memory is going to be preserved if Python is able to do this kind of thing? Let's say you have 1 million, 10 lakh different values, right? You have 10 lakh different variables, right? Or let me try to take a very interesting example, okay? So let's, everyone knows about Aadhaar card, yes or no? Everyone knows about Aadhaar card, right? So in Aadhaar card, what is the thing that is present? You are going to have a name. Let's say there is a name and gender present on the Aadhaar card. Your name is present, your gender is present. Your name is present. Let's say there are maybe, let's say 100 crore people in India, right? There are 100 crore people in India, and we have name as well as gender for each person on this Aadhaar card. Now, let's say using a Python program, what I want to do is I want to store all these things inside some variables. So can I say name 1 is having, so let's say I want to basically, let me actually show you that. So what I can do is I will say N1, right? Let's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. N1 equal to, let's say Kanav. Okay. This guy, right? It is this person is also having a gender. Let's say G1 equal to, let's say male, not let's say I'm a male. So similarly, what I can do is I can say N2 equal to maybe, let's say, let's put someone, maybe Pranav, right? And let's say the gender 2 is male, right? Let's put N3, name number 3. That name number 3 is maybe, let's say Shweta, and the gender is female, right? Similarly, we'll do this thing for all the 100 crore people in India, right? Is it clear to everyone? We will do something like this for all the 100 crore people, right? Now, do you understand that each container, right? Each container, N1 is a container, G1 is a container, N2 is a container, G2 is a container, and so on, right? Each container is going to take some memory from our RAM, from our computer's RAM. They are going to take some memory, yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Are you able to understand this? Right? Now, if they are taking some memory from RAM, right? Do you understand that it is a very, very difficult task to store all these values? RAM is limited, right? RAM is limited. RAM is limited in our computers, right? So what is going to happen is Python is very smart in this manner, okay? In this terms, okay? It basically says Kanav is going to have a container. Similarly, Pranav is going to have a container, right? Gender for Kanav is male, right? Similarly, gender for Pranav is also male. So let me, instead of creating a new memory, instead of creating a new space for G2, why not point this G2 directly to this container, which was being pointed by G1, right? So it will basically share the memory. Yes, correct, Sriram, right? It shares the memory. Similarly, it will now create N3. N3 contains Shweta, right? And then, so is it going to create a new container for G3? Yes or no? Anyone who can tell me that? Is a new, so will it create a new container? Yes, it is going to create a new container, right? Because there is nothing called as female right now inside the memory. Now, do you see that for all the 100 crore people, right? For all the 100 crore people, let's say there is another gender, maybe let's say others. Okay, so let's put others also as a gender. So only these 3 containers will be formed for all the genders, right? So all the 100 crore people, for their genders, we don't need to store any other thing than these 3 things inside the computer's memory. Yes or no? We just need to point all the genders to either of these 3 containers. Only 3 places are basically going to get allocated. No. That is totally different, Tony. So that is totally different. Okay. So in C we have pointers, but in Python, that concept is not used in that manner. Okay. All right. So this is a very interesting concept, right? So it saves a lots and lots of memory, right? It is very, very much efficient, this concept, right? So many a times I've seen people asking this question in the interview. I've also asked this question. Okay. So I will ask you many questions. I will basically tell you many questions that I ask from all the candidates whenever I interview them. Okay. So I've taken so many interviews over the past 5 years, lots and lots of interviews from all kind of colleges, IITs, triple ITs, NITs, from all kind of people having the experience of 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I've taken so many interviews. I'll try to share all that knowledge with all of you. Okay. All right. So now let's try to understand one more thing. Okay. So we have seen a new concept called as list, and we have also seen a concept called as a tuple, right? So we have seen this concept. Now the concept that is left for us to learn is set and dictionary, right? So in order to talk about set, let me try to tell you this thing. So let's say if I try to create set, let me call it as S. The bracket that you are going to use for set is these curly brackets, yes, right? And let's say 1, 2, 3. Right? This is something that I'm trying to store inside set. And I will say print S. Let me try to print it out. And similarly, let me also try to print the address, or sorry, not the address, but the type of this S variable. Okay, let me try to do that. All right. So do you see that it is a set? The type of this set of this variable is set, right? Now the question is, why do we have these many different types, type of data types, data structures, right? Why do we have these many different type of containers, right? It is a totally different containers. Okay, so we have seen that list and tuples are exactly same. The only thing is list is immutable, whereas tuple is, sorry, list is mutable, whereas tuple is immutable, right? We can't change the content of tuple, whereas if we talk about list, we can change the content of list, right? Now, when we talk about set, how many of you remember the set from mathematics? Do you remember the set from mathematics? Yes or no? All right. So I see many people are saying yes. All right. So do you know that set is, what is the definition of a set? It is a, okay. So Kundan got a very interesting answer. Set, for set, he's saying that it is nothing but a collection of element. So is there anything that we are missing here? It is unordered collection, right? It is unordered collection. This is something that you need to understand, right? It is unordered. There is no order, right? Whenever we talk about list or tuple, there is an order, right? We are storing 5, 6, and kanav, right? So if we are storing 5, 6, and kanav, so there is an order. There is a particular order. 5 is at 0th index, 6 is at first index, kanav is at second index. Whereas when we talk about set, yes, it is an ordered collection of elements. List and tuple, they are ordered collection of elements. Whereas if we talk about set, they are unordered collection. There is no order. It is like a bag. It is like a bag where all these elements are present, 5, 6, and kana. You don't have any index. You don't have any order. Let me prove it to you. Okay. Let me prove it to you. So if I want to print S of 0, what should be the output? What should be the output? Anyone? Yes, intuitively one should be the output, right? Let me try to run the code. Now, do you see? It is saying that you can't you can't access any elements inside a set. It is an unordered collection, right? You don't have any order, right? You don't have any order. That's why it is not able to, we are not able to access any element inside the set. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? It is an unordered collection. Okay. You don't know where anything is present. You don't know that. Unordered hai, pura. Okay. Now, the most important part of sets is, let's try to remove this thing. Okay. So the thing that, so let's say, can anyone tell me if I try to print, let me try to also remove this. If I try to print S, what should be the output? Can you quickly tell me that? Yes, we can do that. We can do that, Tony. We can always do type conversion. We can always do typecasting. Okay. Yes, correct, Kundan, correct. Everyone is correct. So everyone knows this, right? Set is only going to contain one occurrence, right? It is always going to contain one occurrence, right? Sometimes interviewers are going to ask you one question. They are going to ask you the question something like this. The question will be something like this. Given a collection of elements, right, inside a list, remove all the duplicates, right? So this is a kind of question you will see. Given a collection of elements inside a list, remove, or in an array, list inside an array, let me put array here, in an array, right? Remove all the duplicates, right? Let's say they are saying that you are given with a equal to, there is a variable called as a equal to 1 comma 1 comma 2 comma 2 comma or 3 comma 5 comma 5 comma 1 comma 0 comma 10 comma 0, right? They want you to remove all the duplicates. Now thinking about C, if you don't know set, it is a very difficult problem to solve, right? If you don't know set at all, it is a very difficult problem to solve. But now you know set, right? What you can do is you can create a variable S, and then you can typecast this A. You can simply say set A, right? You can simply say set is a data type. Set is a data type, and I want to typecast this A into a set. I want to change the type of A to set. Now, as soon as you do this, what is going to happen if I try to print S now, right? If I try to print S now, it is going to give me all the unique elements, right? It is going, because set is having this property of only having all the unique elements, right? Now, do you see the order is not preserved? Do you see that? Do you see 0 is coming first, right? 1 is coming after 0, and then 2, and then 3, and so on, right? Order is not preserved here, right? Is it clear to everyone? Are you all able to follow whatever I'm saying? I hope it is interesting and you are able to understand all these things. Okay, Devi, I'll try to explain it again. So see, Devi, what I'm trying to say here is I'm saying that this is the entire list. You have a list, and so this is one of the very frequently asked question in the interviews for a fresher. People will ask you the question. The question is, given a collection of element, okay, this is the collection of element, you have to remove all the duplicates. In order to remove all the duplicates, what you can do, you can simply typecast. You can simply typecast this entire thing to set. This is how you typecast, okay? So you are simply saying set and then the variable name. Okay, you are simply saying just typecast this A variable to a type called as set. If you try to typecast it and then you are trying to assign this entire thing, whatever is on the right hand side, to a variable called as S, right? Now this S, when you try to print it, it is going to contain all the unique elements, because set is having this property of only having the unique elements. Making sense to you now? Is it making sense to you guys? All right. Now let's try to come up to the last topic for the day. Okay, for the day, let's try to come to the last topic, conditional statements, if else. Okay, so in programming, so whatever we have covered till now, it is universal to all the programming languages out there. There are a couple of things that are unique to Python, but the basic concepts, the foundations are all all same. Okay. Similarly, the if-else conditions, if-else statements are also something that is universal to all the programming languages. Okay. All right. So I forgot about the dictionary. So let me try to create it quickly. Yeah. So let me talk about dictionary. Can you tell me what is this thing that I'm trying to write here with this hash symbol? Can you tell me what is this line? Is this line going to be executed when I try to run the program? Yes, it is a comment. Yes, you remember it, right? It is not going to get executed, right? Comment is just to understand. See, if I try to write this comment, you are able to understand that something that I'm going to write inside this entire cell is going to be a dictionary wala code, right? Now, let's say I want to create a dictionary. Let me call this dictionary as D. Now in dictionary, can anyone tell me what, I hope everyone has read a dictionary, right? Everyone has seen a dictionary, Oxford dictionary, or maybe some other dictionary. Now, do you remember that in a dictionary, you have words and meaning? There is going to be word and there is going to be a meaning, right? Yes. Dictionary contains the same thing. Dictionary contain everything. See, here each element in set, when you talk about set, each element is a single item, right? In dictionary, each item is going to be a pair. Okay, each item is going to be a pair, and the pair is called as key value pair. Key and values are going to be there. Key and value, right? There is going to be a key value pair. And how do I represent that? In order to represent that, you just need to write something like this. You need to write curly brackets. Okay, the dictionary and the set both are having the curly bracket. Okay, you have to keep this in mind. Okay, so let's say I say Kanav. Okay, so so maybe let's say I put the mobile number here. Okay, 11111111. Okay, key and value. Okay, name and the mobile number, comma, right? This is the only one element, right? Similar to this one, right? In a list, you have this one as a single element. Now in dictionary, you have key value pair. You have to have key value pair only, right? Similarly, what you can have, maybe let's say Tony Stark, right? Stark, and then there is going to be a phone number. Tony Stark, can you give us your phone number? So let's say 00000000, something like that, and so on, right? And so on. You can have, oh my god, and so on, right? So you have something like this. Okay. Yes, he will be busy. He will be busy today. So this is something that we have, right? Now, if I want to print this D, what is going to happen? I will get Kanav and the number, Stark and the number here. Okay, I hope you understand that it is all zero. That's why you are getting a single zero here, right? Because this entire thing and this zero means the same thing, right? So instead of this, let me try to put something like this, or let's try to put this thing, right? So this is something that you have. Okay, this is something that you have. Is it clear to everyone now? Is it clear? Now let's say I want to access the number of Tony Stark. Let's say I want to access the number of Tony Stark. What I can do is I can simply say dictionary. I want to print the Stark's number, right? I can simply say Stark, right? I want to print the number for Tony Stark, and I can simply say print dictionary Stark. And if I run this program, see, it is giving me the number of Stark. Isn't it amazing? It is very interesting to understand dictionaries, right? Right. So Durga Prasad, what I'm trying to basically teach here is dictionary wala part. Okay. So in dictionary, we are just saying that it is going to always contain key value pair. Can you tell me, Durga, how many key value pairs do you see in this dictionary? How many key value pairs do you see in this dictionary? 2, yes, right? So this is the way to print the entire dictionary, and this is the way to print any element in the dictionary. Okay, I am interested in the values, right? I am interested in the values, and in order to basically look at what is the let me not put the number, so Stark might might be angry on me. So this is something that we can do. Okay, print D, it might confuse. Okay. Let me try to do that. Stark. So if I do something like this, I've commented this print D wala line. Okay. Now, if you see this, it is going to print out the number. Is that fine? Is that fine now? Okay, so we are getting multiple different questions. Let me try to look at the questions now. Okay, no, that is not possible. We can't type the value instead of the key. We can't type the value. It is not going to give the output. The correct output is not going to be there. Sriram, what do you mean by can we use dict keyword either? I'm not sure about this. Yeah, I think I understood what you mean. So you are saying that can I create a dictionary by using a dict keyword? In order to answer that question, just go through this entire notebook. Okay, so you would see that I have mentioned how to do that. Maybe somewhere you will find it somewhere. Okay, just try to go through this entire thing. Okay. That is just fine. That is fine, Tony. So even if you have, let's say, Kanav and Stark, both of them have the same number. So that is totally fine. That is totally fine. The values can be same. But the thing is, what if I try to have same key? let's say I have Kanav again, right? So if I have same key, let's see what happens. Okay. So let's say I want to put 9999 here, right? Yes, that is this is interesting, right? Now this is a good question. Now anyone who can answer this question, what is going to happen? Yes, correct, Sriram. It is going to get overwritten, right? It is going to get the previous value of Kanav. This key is going to get overwritten by this value 9999. Okay. Let's try to run this. Let's try to run this. Okay, so let's try to see D ka value. See, it got overwritten, right? This is going to get overwritten, right? Is it clear to everyone? Yes, dictionary is mutable. You can say that. Yes, correct. Dictionary is mutable, right? We have just seen that. It is mutable, right? Now let me actually show you. So let's say I say D. If I say D, maybe Stark. If I say D Stark equal to let's say 99999999. Okay, and then if I try to print the D, the entire dictionary, let's see what is going to happen. See, it is mutable, right? Is this fine? I will share the link. I will share the link. If somebody joined late, just hold on for some time. I will share all the links. Okay. I'll just do that. Okay. So I'll just send the link so that everyone can see that link. So if you want to connect with me, the link is there. If you want to follow Technology for All, the link is there. Okay, you have all the links. Just try to follow all the links. The first link is for certification and attendance and everything. You need to first fill the first link, and then you can maybe look into other links also. Okay. Is it clear? Devi, in order to do that, just try to go through this notebook. Okay. Just try to go through this notebook. Okay, just try to go through this entire thing. You would understand how to do that. Okay. Okay, I won't be able to go into the depth of this because we are almost done for this session. I wanted to cover up everything by 6:30, but I think I have to take 5 more minutes. Yes, Venkatesh, you can do that. Thank you so much for informing me. Yes, you can leave. Okay. So Venkatesh, please try to fill up that form, that Google form that I've shared, and then maybe you can, if you want, you can leave the class. Okay. So so do you want me to continue with this new topic, or we should take this topic tomorrow? Anyone? I think we are already done with the time, so we can take the topic tomorrow if you want. Okay. Yes. Tomorrow is fine, right? Yes, new topic tomorrow. Okay. So most of you are saying tomorrow. So I will take the topic tomorrow. Okay. Now, any doubts, any confusions, anything? I'm happy to take 5 to 6 more minutes. If you have anything, you want guidance with anything, or you want to talk about something, I am happy to help you out with that. Okay. You can ask me any questions, any relevant, irrelevant